My name is Kelly Rotc, and I'm the School of Nursing Chair. And I'd like to take this time to welcome everybody here, both within the room here, and we have a live stream. So thank you for coming to LSSU School of Nursing 50th Anniversary Reunion Celebration. What an exciting day and such a momentous occasion. As I look out to the audience here, I see alum, I see past professors, current professors, and I see everybody mingling around and just having a good time. And it's just wonderful to see. So at this time, I would like to call upon our professor and our past professor, but now our dean, Dr. Kathy Bertram. And she's the School of Nursing Academic Dean, and she's going to talk a little bit today about LSSU Nursing History. So, thank you.
Thank you very much. On behalf of the administration, faculty, staff, and students at LSSU, I'd like to officially welcome everyone to the 50th anniversary celebration of nursing at Lake Superior State University. 50 years. I am beyond honored to be standing here today in this role as the Dean of the School of Nursing. When I graduated from the Bsn program, and I know a lot of, I'm looking at Mary Ann and Lynn, and a couple of you.
But I turn around and look at Carol.
There's a lot of connections, right? Yeah. I would have never thought I'd be standing in front of you today in this role. So it's a privilege and an honor. I consider myself to be sort of a steward or a caretaker of this program. My role is to stand on the shoulders of the deans and the leaders that were here before me and built this program to be what it is. So it is my honor to be here during this time of this celebration. So this year, we are marking the 50th anniversary of the nursing program at Lake Superior State University. I wanted to go through just a quick little history. I won't bore you. It won't be like a class. There are no slides. There's no quiz or anything like that. The first nursing education program at Lake State, it was actually Lake Superior State College at the time. So LSSC was a practical nursing program. And then a few years after that, the college initiated a 2-year associate degree in nursing, or an ADN. And that ended the practical nursing program at that time. And then in 1975, the length of the ADN program was increased to 3 years. There was a preclinical year that was added. There were some nursing courses expanded, including more theory and clinical practice. So it was evolving. LSSC, the college, recognized the trend of entry into professional practice at the baccalaureate level and added the BSN program in September of '74. This program was designed as a completion program for registered nurses seeking a baccalaureate degree. So these were ADN students that, or ADN nurses that were then coming back to get their bachelor's. In September of 1985, a 4-year BSN pre-licensure track replaced the ADN program. And this program is still in place today and is the foundation or the cornerstone of nursing at Lake Superior State University. So, and that's 36 years later, which is a significant amount of time. I think about how many nurses have come out of this program since then. So LSSU also reestablished the practical nursing program from 2002 to 2017, and I'm looking at you, Lynn Kopke. So for 50 years of nursing means that there are nursing alumni at all different types of programs, ADN, LPN, BSN, around the world, taking care of all types of patients and families and changing people's lives. So I've met some of you for the first time. Actually, no, I wanted to pull it back a little bit. And I wanted to take a step back and just revel kind of in the momentous occasion that we're celebrating today. How do we even begin to celebrate a nursing program that has spanned 50 years? 50 years of innovations in healthcare, 50 years of innovations in how we take care of patients. I think that the way we do this is by focusing on the people. So I met a few of you for the first time yesterday at the open house, and for the first time today. I am electric. I think that's what that is saying. We have alumni attending today that graduated as far back as 1972. Where's Debbie? There you are right there. One of our more recent alum, Levi Jensen, is sitting right behind Debbie. He graduated in 2019. And I just wanted to think about the differences in their education, in their nursing education, and in their, excuse me, their career paths that they have had since in the different times that they graduated and what they may have seen. I would bet, Debbie, that you had some interesting stories to tell over those years, correct? So it's
We learned on each other. We didn't have simulators.
we have some simulators now to do that, right? So it's wonderful to look out and recognize some faces of current students, previous students, faculty. I've had some previous students take care of me as a patient, which is always a good experience. Faculty and leaders that have made an immeasurable impact on my life. And in addition to that, on the lives of patients around the world. So a momentous occasion that we're celebrating here. So I think that that answers my question of how do we begin to celebrate a nursing program that has spanned 50 years? We do it by celebrating the people, the graduates, the former and current faculty, staff, and leaders that have built and grown this program year after year. We celebrate each patient you have cared for. We celebrate the lives you have impacted and the students you have guided, the lives you have saved, and the goodbyes that you made easier. So it is my pleasure to welcome everyone that is attending here today and that is joining us virtually on our live stream to the celebration of 50 years of nursing at Lake Superior State University. We celebrate you because each of you has an integral role in LSSU nursing, both in the past, in our history, in the present, and then very definitely in the bright future of LSSU nursing. So welcome and enjoy your time here, especially for all of Great Lakes State Weekend. And we hope that we see you on campus more and more often now that you've been back to see us. So welcome.
Thank you, Dean Berger. So at this point of the program, it's very exciting for me to be able to announce some of our special guests in place of recognition. Some of these names on this list I've either worked with in the professional field or as an alum here. They were my professors when I was here. So at this time, I'm going to read these names in alphabetical order. But these individuals and these special guests, they're being recognized for their significant impact that they've had with the School of Nursing and in the profession of nursing itself. Dr. Constance Baker, 1977 to 1979, professor and department head of nursing. Marla Bunker, CNO, COO, alum, and she's the CNO War Memorial Hospital. She was from 1985 to 1998, and I don't think Marla's here with us today, is she? No. Dr. Carol Campagna. Miss Alice Halsey, Professor Emeritus, 1974 to 2000, also served as a Dean of Nursing. Dr. Ron Hutchins, Professor Emeritus, alum, 1977, Associate Degree in Nursing, 1978, Bachelor's Degree in Nursing, 1997 to 2020, LSSU Nursing Professor, 2012 to 2020, Dean of Nursing. Miss Lynn Hockey, Professor Emeritus, alum, 1987, Associate's Degree in Nursing, 1989, Bachelor's Degree in Nursing, 1992 to 2016, Assistant Professor, School of Nursing, also served as Nursing Department Chair and Director of Practical Nursing Program. Shannon, Professor Emeritus, 1991 to 2011, LSSU Professor of Nursing, 2009 to 2011, served as Associate Dean of Nursing. Thank you for all that you did. Give her a round. I also get the honor at this time to call upon our guest speakers. First of all, I would like to call Ms. Alice Halsey to the podium, please. Alice.
Well, contrary to popular belief, I was not here when this program started. However, I did join the faculty in the fall of 1973 after my family moved to the Upper Peninsula. And the history of the program has been given very eloquently here, and I will repeat some of that in a message from Dr. May Markstrom. But I thought maybe I would start with some comparisons that between the old and the new. Don't know if any of you remember, well, I know Ron Hutchins remembers the old ROTC building, and probably some of the others here do too. And it no longer exists, but that's where the original nursing program took place. This was, we used the hospital infirmary from when this was Fort Brady as our lab. It was one of those buildings that was climate controlled, and that means if it was cold outside, it was cold inside. From there, we moved to Crawford Hall, but not where the space is now, and that was a big improvement. And then space was made for us in the tech center, and we were there for a number of years, and gosh, it just kept getting better and better all the time. And now I saw the lab over in Crawford Hall yesterday, and there's just no comparison to the old and the new, so you really have come a long way. So not only has space changed, but so has the technology. When I first started teaching here, technology was access to an overhead projector, so you could, put your notes up on so people could copy them. When we got our first recording, resuscitating, we thought we were really in the money here. That was great because now you could, as we're teaching people how to do CPR, you could actually see how they were doing. However, they all compared, they don't compare at all, to the sim lab, which is just one of the most remarkable facilities that I've seen. The realistic experiences that can be developed there with the opportunity for students to gather together and critique what's happening and improve their techniques is amazing. Clinical experiences, some things are the same and some things are different. I think finding adequate clinical facilities to house our students has always been a bit of a concern. Early on, we had Canada as a possibility, and we used that somewhat. We would go to the old state hospital in Newberry for mental health, and have traveled personally down to Ross to the Air Force Base for OB experience down there. And the other thing that comes to mind is that faculty used to be responsible for transporting students. We had 15 passenger vans that we were supposed to drive. It didn't matter what the weather was. Sometimes maintenance would have them warmed up for us, and sometimes scraped off even. And so that lasted for a few years and fortunately changed as well. But there's some real similarities too. Even from the beginning, our reputation has been that we were a tough program, but we were good. And we used to be, and probably still are, very proud of the state board results. If we didn't get 100% on the first time writing, we were all concerned. What had gone wrong here? And that has played well in terms of recruitment. People would come from Mayo Clinic and from the Armed Forces and a number of other agencies, as well as the local ones, to try and recruit our grads because they were really quality. My bottom line, if you'll let me have a personal thing here, my bottom line has always been, if I'm laying in a bed or on a stretcher and look up and see that nurse that's a Lake State grad, I want to feel good about what I see there. And it actually did happen one time in a post-op situation. I developed a real complication. The nurse that was assigned to me was not a Lake State grad and not quite as sharp as perhaps she should have been. And Roger, one of our grads, was taking care of the patient next to me. He saw what was going on, pushed her aside and said, "Get out of my way, I don't have time for this." And he took over. And, I'm still here. I heard comments yesterday about things like, I felt prepared when I went to my first job. I looked around at other new grads and I felt good about it. And part of that, most of that probably is due to the dedicated faculty that work here. It's rewarding to see that this is still an excellent program, and that's still the reputation that we have after 50 years. We have had over all of these years, I think, excellent support from administration here at the university, and that's what's prevented the growth in the program here and the excellence. So I'm pleased to have been part of this 50-year journey, if not all of it. And I wish it's good to see you all, and I wish you all good luck in the future here. Dr. Markstrom was here longer than I was, and she's not able for health reasons to be here today, but she did send me a message that I would like to read to you from her. She writes, "It's with great regret that I am unable to celebrate this special occasion in Lake Superior State University nursing with you. However, I would like to share some of my thoughts and memories of my years at LSSU. 50 years has certainly flown by quickly. Many changes have occurred in nursing program development during this time. The first nursing program at LSSU was an LPN program, followed by the ADN, and then the two programs, the 2+2 program was developed to provide a program for RNs wanting to complete a BSN. Then outreach programs were made possible in Escanaba and Petoskey and Alpena. Finally, the 4-year BSN was developed, and the motto throughout these years was excellence in nursing education. During my many years at LSSU, different accomplishments stand out. I would say that achieving National League for Nursing accreditation was the most important. This could not have been done without the hardworking, dedicated faculty and staff. Nursing faculty have served as excellent role models for students and nursing graduates. Many obtained their graduate degrees while teaching full-time and raising their families. Another accomplishment was obtaining Kellogg and federal funding grants to develop and establish a healthcare delivery by nurse practitioners in this area and third-party reimbursement for nursing services. As you all know, nurse practitioners have become an important part of health care. Retirement has treated me well. I have been blessed. My husband and I have spent our winters and Lake Havasu City, Arizona, a beautiful city on the Colorado River. We have made many new friends and enjoyed visiting the many scenic areas in the Southwest. It was an honor to be asked to be a speaker today, but I was unable to accept the invitation due to health issues. My final words to each of you: keep up the good work and enjoy your nursing careers, and keep making LSSU proud. With all my best wishes, Dr. Mae Markstrom.
Thank you so much for that. I have to say it, Professor Halsey, she was my professor. It's very hard for me to say her first name. It's the same for me to not say that. Very hard for me to say Dr. Carol Campagna, Professor Campagna. So for me to get those words out, but I ask you to come up next to the podium, please. And Dr. Mae Markstrom was on the live feed. So thank you for those words. We're sad that you're not with us here today, but thank you for joining us.
Oh. I hope everybody remembers all those years of dates because I'm going to quiz you on them.
Yes, you would.
I'm still short. Well, thank you very much. It's just really wonderful to see all of you. Now I feel badly that Kathy had to twist my arm to come today. Where are you? Oh, back there, okay. I said, when you asked me to speak, I said, oh, Kathy, I'm in my retirement mode for the past 20 years. How can I do something like that? But after a little arm twisting, I'm really, really glad to be here and to see so many wonderful, I keep using that term, heroes for nurses instead of stays, because I know so many of them. In fact, here on the side, I just heard from one of my students from 1989, Becky Badger, and she just moved up north. She worked in ICU at Loyola University in Chicago since she graduated, but she came north to take care of her parents, and she's now the ER nurse on Mackinac Island. So Marianne, maybe you get to see her. Anyway,
not.
I meant
In a good way.
Since Marianne has a place over there. But anyway, I'm going to just add a little bit of history to what has been said. But my history will be from 1984 until 2001. But before visiting Lake State, the only thing I knew, other than it was at the end of the earth, even coming from Buffalo, I knew that. But in April of 1984, the only thing what I knew was about the unicorn. Did you know the Unicorn Society started here? Some of the older faculty probably know that, but it was the Unicorn Society by Bill Raby that started the Word Banishment Association, and it traveled all over the world. It's now other people are stealing it. We never got a patent done. But anyway, the other thing I knew about Lake State was that this was the Lizzie Borden Society, where Lizzie Borden gave her mother 40 whacks and her dad 41, but she was claimed innocent. Did you know that, Alice? Oh yes, this is the Lizzie Borden Society. It was founded at Lake State, so you learn something every day. Anyway, but before coming to Lake State, I worked at 4 different private institutions, universities. And the only thing I noticed at first when I came here is, why is there such a hierarchy of people? But in any bureaucratic system or a government system, you're going to have a hierarchy. But that was the first thing that I noticed. But very quickly, I immediately recognized the cohesiveness of a warm and receptive faculty led by a very competent and trusted chairperson, Mae Markstrom. I'm glad you're here to hear this, Mae. Other departments commented that we were working with the best chairperson on campus, and it did prove to be true. Mae was the best. Nursing was well respected for its very good ADN and RN to completion program. However, the faculty voted to follow nursing trends and initiate a 4-year baccalaureate nursing program. The NLN noting that most faculty had been educated at Wayne State University or Northern University, Lake State would be required to recruit faculty with a diversity of ideas from different universities in order to be accredited. Oh boy. So in the fall of 1984, 5 very, shall I say, uniquely qualified and different faculty came on board. There was Shirley Bingham from Boston University, Carol Connaughton from Indiana University, Sue Goodell from the University of Michigan. Where are you, Sue? Sue's here. She was in that massive group. Mary Sabrowski from the University of Wisconsin, and I from the University of Colorado. So we were from all kinds of places and we all had different ideas, but we worked wonderfully together. We had our little, disagreements, but that's what you want. Academia, you disagree and then you solve your problems. But anyway, we worked diligently with excitement, lots of sweat and long hours. Got our NLN accreditation for the RN to BSN completion program in the fall of 1984. And then we worked tirelessly to develop an exemplary professional 4-year baccalaureate nursing program. Each of us was committed to building a curriculum that would give solid knowledge and a well-rounded background to all of our graduates in the sciences and in the arts, providing our graduates so much more than just technical aspects of nursing. Perhaps at the time you went through the program, you didn't fully appreciate why of the required liberal arts courses, but now hopefully we all do. I know I do. For my travel all over, knowing the arts has been a tremendous addition to my life. So I hope the same is for you. Our 4-year baccalaureate program was launched in 1985 with our first class graduating in May of 1989. Our nursing program became recognized throughout Michigan for its excellent success rate on state boards. The nursing program has never been known as easy on campus. Didn't somebody else just say that? No, it never has been, but rather it has been known for its quality. Faculty in general education and the sciences continually remark on how much they enjoy teaching the good, hardworking, and serious nursing students. I've heard it still. I'm sure that you've heard it yourselves. The nursing faculty has always taken great pride in the success of our group, our students and graduates. We were reaccredited by the NLN in 1992 and 2000 while I was here. One of the reasons I stayed that extra year is I wanted to make sure we got it again, and we did. I understand that the program was reaccredited in 2020 for the next 10 years I was so happy to read this, by the Commission on Collegiate Nursing Education, which finally replaced the NLN. Congratulations to all of the faculty here. And many of my former students in faculty here. Great job. 10 years, wonderful. Does anybody remember the sign on the old entrance to campus? All right. Enter to learn, go forth to serve. So profound. I think it's still there. Isn't it? What better profession is there than nursing to exemplify this? Kathy, I said I was on 5 minutes, but I think I already did.
I didn't believe you then either.
I did write it out, so I wouldn't remember too much. Anyway, nothing pleases me more than seeing the impact that our nursing graduates have had in serving others throughout the world, as Kathy mentioned. We keep saying throughout the world because our grads have worked throughout the world. We've had caring for servicemen and women throughout the country. We don't have as many being recruited now, but remember our trip to Washington?
Yes.
And we recruited a whole bunch of kids into the different services. But besides that, of course, the armed forces, we have, you mentioned Marla Bunker as the director of nurses at War Memorial. She was in my very first class in the ADN program. But we've had graduates working in every kind of place you can think of. In fact, I don't think Amy Crisp, you didn't get a hold of her. Okay, I'll mention Amy. But we've had nursing graduates teaching in many different universities, and one of them is Amy Cramstaller Crisp. Anybody graduate with Amy? But I just read in my alumni news that Amy, who teaches at Michigan State, won a very prestigious award. It's called the Jonas Scholarship. She's it's a very competitive scholarship to the University of Colorado to work on her doctorate. But she was named a scholar in July to help veterans battling invisible wounds of war. In her article, Amy recognizes her education at Lake State, and particularly Dr. Connaughton, who helped her see that nursing is more than a set of tasks to be accomplished, and challenged her to and inspired her to succeed and pursue in graduate work. I think those of you who took nursing research know how much it helped you in graduate school because you were way ahead of the others. Because I've heard that on and on. Living in the Sioux since retirement has allowed me to interact with many graduates, mostly through involvement in hospice. I have witnessed tremendous competency and compassion in our graduates as they care for dying patients and their families. If you don't live in the EUP now, you may not be aware that hospice of the EUP is an absolutely superb resource in our community. Much of the credit goes to our graduates working for the Chippewa County Home Health and Hospice. They are the best. Here's Renee's, she's proof. Our hospice home is still the only home in Michigan that remains free of charge for residents, due mainly through the generosity of our community. Can you imagine people go into that beautiful 5-bed home and are cared for and don't have to worry about a cent while they're there? Some of our graduates are or have been on the nursing faculty right here at Lake State, carrying on the mission of educating students
They were there at those times when the unexplainable needed to be explained, and they were there when the situation demanded a swift foot and a sharp mind. They were there when a gentle touch or a firm push or an encouraging word was all that was needed. They were there to witness humanity, its beauty in good times and bad, without judgment. They were there to embrace the woes of the world willingly and offer hope. They were there, and now they are home. They are there. As a reminder to everyone of the professional responsibilities that a nurse has and the burden that they are carrying, I'd like to recite the nursing pledge to you. In full knowledge of the responsibilities I am undertaking, I promise to care for my clients with all the knowledge, skills, and understanding I possess, without regard to race, color, creed, politics, social status, and sparing no effort to conserve meaningful life, to alleviate suffering, and to promote health. I respect at all times the dignity and religious beliefs of the patients under my care, and I hold in professional confidence all the personal information entrusted to me. I refrain from any action that may endanger the quality of life or health. I will endeavor to keep my professional knowledge and skill at its highest level and to give my support and cooperation to all the members of the healthcare team. With full awareness of my qualifications and limitations, I will do my utmost to maximize the potential and uphold and advance its standards. Let us take a moment now of silence as each nurse's name is presented. Lost count, but I think there were 68 nurses who graduated from our program who passed away. So this is the nurse's final farewell. Nurses, please report to your stations for duty. All nurses, please report to your nursing stations for duty. Nurses, please report immediately to your nursing departments for duty. Nurses, thank you so much for your service. We appreciate all of the contributions to the nursing profession and all of the sacrifices your families have made as you answered the call to care for others. May you rest in peace. Any nurse who would like to participate in the flowers, please follow Charlotte, Professor Butcher. This Honor Guard unit has been providing these services since 2017 in the Sault Ste. Marie area, the St. Ignace area, and the northeastern corner of the Lower Peninsula. It is part of the Sigma Theta Tau International Nursing Honor Society, the Chi Omega Chapter 526. Our Honor Guard serves nurses regardless of whether or not they graduated from LSSU, regardless of whether they are RNs or practical nurses. Additionally, any nurse can participate in an Honor Guard ceremony, again, regardless of whether or not they are LSSU graduates, or regardless of whether or not they are RNs or LPNs. We welcome all nurses at these services. The Honor Guard is free of charge. There is information on the table about Honor Guard. We'd love to have more participants. We'd love to know all of the nurses who we could serve. And so please feel free to reach out to me so that we can arrange Honor Guard for you or your family or your friends. So thank you so much for allowing us to say farewell to our nursing colleagues.
This time I call Ms. Charlotte Kosseluk to the podium. She's going to talk about Sigma Theta Tau Chi Omega Honor Society.
Thank you for having me here today. As Professor Rotc mentioned, I still follow that. I'm representing our chapter, Chi Omega, chapter 526. And it's an easy one for me to remember that number because it's also my birthday. I've been the current president since 2018. Previously was Dr. Sandy King and Professor Kelly Rotc. It was not always called Sigma Theta Tau. That is something that we had to charter and submit for. So it was originally an honor society here on campus. And although I was not inducted into that, I was as a leader. And so it was a privilege to be into this society. So a little bit of history on it. Sigma is now the new marketing name for it, but Sigma Theta Tau International is the original name. It was founded in 1922 by 6 nursing students from Indiana University. From those 6 founding members, our organization has grown to more than 135,000 active members, and I'm thinking that number has greatly increased since the last time I looked at the report. In more than 540 chapters, over 100 countries all over the world. I've been at the last 2 biennials that were in person, and it was just amazing to see nurses from other countries networking, working together. And so as a newer faculty, it was a privilege to hear the same issues that we hear in Uganda and in other countries that we're dealing with as well. So it was wonderful to see those connections. Sigma has members in healthcare and extends memberships to students and those in the baccalaureate or graduate level programs. And also those have in those programs that have academic achievement, academic integrity, professional leadership potential to be a nurse leader. So you can also be inducted as a nurse leader. Those of you that have also been inducted into Sigma might be from a different chapter. And what I really wanted to emphasize today is that you can be a dual member. You can be a member of Lake State's chapter. While I have been on the board recently, we've been able to network with Sioux College just right across the bridge here. And so we induct students from our area here and also at their university. So it's been a privilege for them to come over here and also be part of this chapter. So some of the benefits that I've seen and have, as technology advances as well, we see a lot more social networking and mentoring. And so I encouraged a lot of the students to seek out those opportunities for the nurse leaders, especially in this technology world and COVID world. We need to connect together in different ways now. So that's just one option. There's great journals, evidence-based nursing, and a lot of reflection on nursing leadership through Sigma. So another pitch, retirees, you get half off membership. So, and also if you are a student that was inducted, you have to complete 50% of your curriculum and be in the top 35% of your cohort. So if you had another year left, you could also get that half off discount. So again, just letting you know that we have a chapter here. I have some resources and events that are coming up, ways that you can connect. So all this is on the front table out there. If you have any questions, or if you want to join as a nurse leader, which all you are, or a retiree, just come talk to me and we can get that set up. So again, thank you for your time. I'm just happy to be here.
Thank you. At this time, I have the honor privilege of calling upon our LSSU academic provost, Dr. Lynn Gillette, who's going to come up to speak about the impact of LSSU nurses. Dr. Gillette.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I don't know if that's exactly what I'm going to talk about, but because I'm going to adjust. First of all, let me say for all of you that have never met me, so that you don't need to spend the next few minutes trying to figure out where in the world is that guy from. With the accent, I grew up in Southeast Virginia, so that's the accent that's never lost me. I've worked all around the United States, and I'm delighted to be here. I'm going to change my comments based upon what I've seen. I don't go to many things anymore than a movie. The ceremony you've had today, what you've done today, has moved me big time. It is it's an honor and a privilege to have experienced it. My sister, who is older than I am, passed away in the summer of 2020. And she was a nurse. And I want to tell you, every day when I come to work, my PhD is in economics. Every day when I come to work, I typically park right over there, so I've got a longer walk. And if it's super cold, like it is close to the end of the and I run in. But every morning, I'll park there when I can. And on my walk to the administration building, I thank God that I have a job that is significant. And so I was going to come today and talk about how significant you have been in this world. And here's the joy I saw. You know it. You know it. It is so easy. Life's hard, right? Life can be hard. We get knocked. All of us get knocked down. And we can lose sight that what we do matters, right? So I was going to say, if you've lost sight of it, something's kind of problematic here, right? Because you're working with saving people's lives, caring for people, etc. But it was a privilege for me to see all of you and the history of the program and what all of you have done and how we are preparing students that will not only change their lives, but change the lives of the people they work with. The older I get, the more I see the importance of being significant. Yeah, being a provost and a vice president of academic affairs, I'm going to tell you, is a hard job. Every now and then you'd like to get a couple of hits and knock them together, but of course we don't do this. Not in the contract. Contract doesn't say we can't do it, but probably not a good idea, right? So even now and then I'll go home kind of frustrated, but I'm telling you, it's a great gift the older you are to know that what you're doing is significant. So I want to thank you that I could be a part of everything that you've done. Now what I'm going to do is I told Kathy, since I'm the provost, I'm going to talk about the university a little bit. But before I do it, and this was my idea, so I called Kathy Bertram up and I said, hey, Kathy, I'm going to get the number of how many graduates we've had. Don't you steal it. Don't you let anybody else get this number. So since the fall of 1971, there have been 2,438 graduates of this program. That is something to be very proud of. And I love how the care and commitment that all of you have had to this program. There's a line in the movie Patton, which I've seen easily 75 times, where Patton is telling the troops at the beginning of the movie, now I don't want to get any kind of call from any of y'all where you say we're holding our ground. We're not going to hold anything. We're going to advance all the time. So this nursing program has been great, but we're not going to hold our ground. We're going to continue to advance the program and make it even better than it is. That's our goal. That's what gets me up in the morning for all of our programs. All right, let me talk about the university a little bit. Rod Hanley got here our new president got here in June of 18. I got here July 1 of 18. Needless to say, none of us knew we were going to go through a worldwide pandemic in the process of what we've done. But the university is doing incredibly well, and I just want to give you some information to support that. Over the last 2 years, COVID years, over the last 2 years, our incoming first time in college enrollment has increased in the fall of 2020, in the fall of 21. Each year it's increased, and it's 15.6% higher than it was in the fall of 2019. We're one of the very few universities, state universities in Michigan that have had an increase in enrollment of incoming students. I've got the numbers, and I decided today I wasn't going to be all negative, but so I won't say the universities, I know them, but several universities in the state of Michigan have had enrollment of new students go down by over 25% over the last 2 years. So we're doing a great job with enrolling more students. Next, in a couple of weeks, our new Center for Freshwater Research and Education, Rotc Building, will be operational. We have a dedication and people will move in. That is an incredible facility on the St. Mary's River. Dr. Constance Baker was one of the key donors, and thank you for your generosity to that. But that's going to be a showpiece, and it's pretty amazing. What we've seen is fundraising capabilities for the building is going to go even up high, go up. I can say it, can go up as people are seeing the building, et cetera. But that's drawing more people to Lake State. Next, and some of y'all may not like this, too bad we did it anyway. In 2019, we added 2 new degree programs, one in cannabis chemistry and one in cannabis business. And good gracious, have they been successful. Enrollments in the programs have tripled. We have raised money galore related to the programs. And Kathy, I didn't know whether I was going to say this, but y'all are such wonderful people. I'm going to say it anyway. And we're looking at how healthcare and not whether it's cannabis or ABD oil or whatever can be used and offering some courses related to that. We're going to be careful, but we're looking at that because that's certainly a movement in society, whether good or bad. I was also going to mention the nursing accreditation. But I believe it was you that brought it up, but I'm so glad you did. I want to talk about the Higher Learning Commission accreditation, HLC. When I got here, we were scrambling a little bit related to this, and that's a heavy lift for a university. But we had HLC visiting team come last year. We met all criteria. Yeah, feel free to jump there. So we met all the criteria, and it's y'all know from your specialized accreditation. And this is not one-to-one, but it's kind of true. You can sort of tell how well a university is going by whether they're handling accreditation well or whether it's kind of slipped. So I was really proud of how we nailed that. We had been fumbling around for years at the university level related to assessment, student outcomes assessment. And that's a tough thing you got to really get your hands on. We nailed all that stuff. We just nailed all of that in the last visit, which is great news. Got a couple more things and I'll be done. Also, Ashley Murky and the CFRE team have been getting so many grants for CFRE that some of us that are kind of competitive in a good way sort of said, well, we're going to get some ourselves. So we've had huge success recently in getting grants because at the end of the day, we have great faculty, We have good or great facilities, but we need more resources to help you and others be even more effective in your programs, right? So with the grants, science faculty got a $2.1 million grant about 6 months ago related to COVID and wastewater, $2.1 million grant. A group of us in academics applied to the USDA for a grant related to things like Zoom, et cetera, and being able to offer distance education in a very quality way. We were able to get that grant. That was about $800,000. And then about 2 weeks ago, we got notice that we just received a Title III grant from the Department of Ed for $1.67 million over 5 years. That grant will very much support student success and retention. At Lake State, over 60% of our students are first-generation college students, and over 50% of our students are low-income students. We pride ourselves more than anything else on social mobility, of taking students where they may have been the first in their family and they may be lacking of some income to be able to help those students graduate, get a great degree, and change the entire path of their lives and their families' lives. So I'm delighted about that. Next, I'm going to talk about finances for a second. When the president and I arrived, we had been running deficits for multiple years. And that's it takes some time to get a hold of that. I want you to know last fiscal year, we had a balanced budget. In fact, it was slightly a surplus last year. Also last year, so last year is the fiscal year that just ended June 3rd, okay? We also had a deficit, a debt related to the general fund that had accumulated for 21 years that was into the millions of dollars, and we eliminated all of that puppy. That thing is gone. And then this year, we proposed a budget to the board that was approved in September for a balanced budget. And I promise you, we'll have a balanced budget. We're going to have a balanced budget related to that. And then here's my next to last comment. When I got here, and I've told people, where's Ron Hutchins? I've told people like Ron Hutchins this, the faculty stability and staff stability was far higher than that of senior management, right? A lot of senior management people, all kind of presidents, provosts, all kind of changes. It's awfully hard, not impossible, but it's awfully hard for an institution and all the programs to reach the level of excellence that they can reach unless you have a great senior management team. And I want to tell you, we got a great senior management team. We have a great senior management team. I've worked at a senior level at multiple universities across the United States. This is by far the best team I've ever worked with. We had 3 new additions to the team over the last 6 or 7 months. That was due to some people leaving or taking a different position. We have a new athletic director, Dave Dowles, who's the athletic director of Virginia Military Institute, has come in and he's going to do great things in athletics. And athletics matters, because athletics is one of the ways that students enjoy college, one of the ways that they engage with the university and stay. Next, Maury Warworth, who had been the CFO for quite some time, retired back in late July. We hired Dr. Nafez Alion as our new CFO, and he has been terrific. When we were interviewing Nafez, we sort of asked him about some of his past work, and he said, well, yeah, I was the CFO for a university that had $1 billion budget. Well, we thinking, okay, he's probably pretty good, right? So he had $1 billion budget, which is a whole lot bigger than ours. And I had the privilege of chairing all of these searches. And then we hired Scott Smith, who's standing right there, Vice President for Advancement. I've worked at private universities where we had to raise all kind of money to be able to just eat. And I've worked with some pretty good advancement officers, but Scott's the best I've ever worked with by far, bar nobody. And here's what we're doing, and here's my last comment. When I became provost here, and I sort of took a measure of everything, with the deans, so I'm working in my 4th year now. After 1 year, I talked to the deans about, we need to change your role a little bit, where you're doing more external things and you have more responsibilities related to fundraising and grants, et cetera. Because the key is, again, we got to get resources for faculty to be able to do the kind of things they need to do. So the deans took to it really well. They didn't push back, oh yeah, we'll do it. Then Scott comes along and he's so doggone good at what he does and working with the deans that we've had some great success. Steve Johnson, the Dean of Science, as Scott would say, how many people know Steve Johnson? And when you raise your hand, he's never met a stranger. He can talk to a post. He a little bit like my mom used to drive me nuts when I was a kid, but nevertheless, he can talk. And Scott calls him the donor whisperer. We've raised all kind of money in science. But when Dr. Baker let us know that this year was going to be our 50th anniversary, I didn't know. Right? So thank you for that. And I met with Kathy and we talked about what we do for the 50th anniversary, et cetera. And then Scott Smith came, and now I'm going to turn it over to Dean Kathy Bertram. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Gillette. That was quite the segue to this. Let's see here. If you just give me a moment. Thank you. We've had a bit of a trip into LSSU Nursing's past. And those of you that were at the open house yesterday were able to see Nursing's present. And now I'd like to talk a little bit about the promising LSSU Nursing future. Let's close today's celebration this way. When we began planning the Nursing 50th anniversary reunion, we talked about a fundraising campaign as part of our celebration. We weren't sure how much we could raise. We thought perhaps $50,000 would be a reasonable, attainable goal. We know 50,000 is a lot, but we wanted to aim high and thought 50,000 for 50 years, that's a great marketing campaign, right? That was our first thought. We quickly agreed that whatever we raised would support the simulation center. And $50,000 would buy an extraordinary amount of very high quality state-of-the-art equipment like a nursing Ann or a simulator that can be used for training our students in different areas like pediatrics or obstetrics or critical care. I'm happy to say that one very generous person who is in this room today made it very clear that $50,000 was an attainable goal. I'd like to ask Dr. Constance Baker to please come up. Dr. Baker was one of our very first directors of nursing at Lake Superior State College, and she was here and had earned a nursing doctorate when nursing doctorates were very, very rare, and so became a leader on our campus. It is Dr. Baker who made it clear that $50,000 was indeed an attainable goal. In fact, she made it clear that $50,000 wasn't a high enough goal because she gave us the very first gift of our nursing 50th anniversary campaign. Her gift was $50,000. Dr. Baker has, your generosity has inspired us to raise our sights a little bit higher. Your very generous gift of $50,000 has led to a second gift of $25,000 from Chuck and Lori Schmidt. Lori Schmidt, or Lori Pingator, when she graduated here in 1974, she and her husband, Chuck, have been very involved with and very generous to our university for many years, and we want to thank them very much. Dr. Baker, your generosity inspired their $25,000 gift, and now we've reached $75,000. We stop there, and I think this is program changing for us. And so I wanted to share with you, Dr. Baker, that your generosity has inspired my husband and I, Mike, as well. And we have decided to match your donation to the school. Very much, because you've really opened up opportunities for our nursing program beyond what we ever could have imagined. So our thanks to you, and we will build this nursing program. We're going to keep moving forward. We're like Patton, we're going to keep moving. So thank you very much. So now we need to set a new campaign goal. You can stay or you can sit, either way. It's up to you. We've been standing all day. So now we need to set a new campaign goal in support of our War Memorial Hospital LSSU Superior Simulation Center. Don't I have like the best job in the world that I get to give this news? You all know how important the Simulation Center is to teaching our nursing students. Lake State has already partnered with War Memorial Hospital to build the Superior Simulation Center. Marla Bunker, class of 1985 and 1998, and she's also the Chief Nursing and Chief Operating Officer at War Memorial Hospital. She played a significant role in this partnership between Lake State and War Memorial Hospital. And we have this wonderful, strong relationship that has lasted as long as we've been here with War Memorial Hospital, with one of our very, very strong and lasting partners. So with $125,000 committed, we're announcing today that our goal is $250,000. But, oh wait, I need to turn the page, there's more. Just yesterday, I feel like the guy in the commercial that there's more. Just yesterday, we learned that we received a $300,000 challenge grant. If we count our $125,000 that's already been committed towards this match challenge, we now need to raise another $175,000 over the next year to meet the challenge and attain our campaign goal of $600,000. Absolutely doable, absolutely doable. So over the next year, we'll be actively fundraising to meet the challenge. We hope if you can participate that you will. It's an extraordinary goal and it is a program changer for us. The equipment that we will be able to purchase, the software that we will be able to purchase will allow the smallest state university in Michigan, located in a rural area, but conveniently right across from an international border, to be at the forefront of what we need to do to get our nursing students, maintain them and build them at that high level. So we are a long way from $50,000 thanks to Dr. Baker, and with the help of alumni, friends, and donors, we have every intention of meeting our $600,000 goal. If you have questions on the campaign or would like to volunteer to help with outreach or planning, or would like to participate, Scott Smith is a great resource. I would echo Dr. Gillette's comments on his talents in this area and helping our students get what they need. And you could talk to me as well, and I'll just probably say you should go talk to Scott. But my experience as well in choosing to believe in this program and give a gift to the program is the belief in this program. And so I can help answer some of those questions as well. So I will close on that note because I'm so very excited. I'm shaking. I'm so excited. Thank you so much, everyone, for being here and helping us celebrate today. Happy 75th anniversary to LSSU, to Lake Superior State University. That's a celebration we're taking part in this year as well. Happy 50th anniversary to our outstanding nursing program. Please enjoy the rest of your Great Lakes State weekend. It has been our pleasure and privilege to host you here. You are home here, and we expect to see you back on campus as much as possible. We'd love to have you here. So thank you. Please enjoy the rest of your weekend, and please let us know if at any point in time you would like to come and be guest lecturers or speakers in any of our classes. We'd love to have you. All right. Thank you very much and have a great weekend.